Good evening. Thank you, Mr. President. I'd like to call tonight's public safety meeting so we're going to get started now to order. And we're going to start off with item 1A, which is our police chief report for December of 2025. Chief, it's all yours, sir.
Thank you, Commissioner. Good evening, everyone.
Good evening.
Attached is the December 2025 monthly report, our last report for 25 for public safety. Does anyone have any questions on the report that we submitted?
Any questions from the commissioners at all? No? Chief, I guess this is not about December 2025. Just following up, how did it go today with our kids leaving school and marching in reference to ICE? Just if you don't mind.
Yeah, there was a student ran protest at the school today. Everything went very smoothly. There was no incidents to report. I was in contact with Dr. Scriven throughout the week leading up to it through today. Spoke to Commissioner Armour about it this afternoon as well. So everything went smoothly there. There was no issues. The students got their say and back into class without incident. So I'm very happy with how that turned out. It turned out very well.
Thank you for having your staff there and the way they kind of respected the kids and kind of stayed. They were there, but kind of not there. So
that was the idea.
Yeah. Thank you. Thank you very much for
Yes, sir. Thank you.
So seeing no, Mr. President, I turn this over to you now for reference to see if you have
I think Commissioner Cherico has a question.
Oh, I'm sorry, Jeff. I'm sorry, Mr. Hampton.
Hey, no worries. And this doesn't have to do with 2025, the last 2025 report, but it's kind of has to do with an everyday report. And I brought this up before, and the problem doesn't seem to have gotten any better with Wawa. You know, the level of response that our township police have to, how many times a day they have to engage is just, it's off the charts. I know they do not, I believe they have, very limited security, if any. From what I gather, they no longer hire our off-duty officers on a regular basis to provide security. At the same time, I think they are trying to apply for a reduction in their tax assessment. I just feel like there has got to be something we as a township should be doing to force Wawa to be more responsive to their own problems. And I'm not saying we shouldn't be called when there's shoplifting or things like that, but perhaps they need to invest in quality security to prevent these sorts of things from happening. God knows that it's a popular store. They make a ton of money. Why they don't have private security there and constantly to at both doors to prevent this sort of thing is just mind-boggling to me. But I really think we ought to do something, have a conversation with them, because we are wasting taxpayer dollars running up to Wawa 6 times a day sometimes. Oh, and we're talking about Wawa on 309.
Commissioner, we do have a high demand for service calls there, as you're aware, with that. I just had a conversation about this today, actually, with Wawa. We had spoken to Wawa. Also, whenever we had events, we've had events in the past where we had overflow go into the Wawa after like a football game or something like that. So we're in contact with Wawa officials on a regular basis, their security department there. We've asked for details in the past as well, as Commissioner Rappaport had brought that up. Can we partner with them somehow and put some onus on them to do that? They did step up and do the security there. But they're kind of a hands-off, as you say. They're getting their money's worth of what they're spending on security, I guess. There as well. They have hired police details at our insistence. They have worked with us in the past on that without incident. This is a demand for service, right? So when we're getting called there, we're putting our resources to use there. That could be used elsewhere as well. So I understand your position on that. I'm open to suggestions on that, on what we can do to improve the relationship with Wawa there as well. As I said, when we have an incident, we do call them. We've made some headway there with developing relationships with them. And partnering with them to deal with those issues. But this isn't it. We're there a lot. We're there every day, as you see in the day book. You all see the day book. It is a regular problem. A lot of it is juvenile stuff that goes on there. Kids coming, not blaming Cheltenham High School kids for this. There's kids from our area, from most of Montgomery County and Philadelphia County that use that store. It's a high volume store. They get a lot of people coming in and out of the store there. A lot of it is juvenile issues coming in, grabbing merchandise and leaving out of there. It's the type of crime we're seeing there. Just the sheer number of volume there, we're going to get called for service there eventually for some dispute or something. So I'm open to ideas on that. Like I said, I have developed relationships with their security people. When we have a major incident, I often reach out to them, as I reached out to them today, to let them know what was going on at our high school, just as a courtesy to let them know. So I did that with several businesses in that surrounding area there, just to let them know as a courtesy, to let them know that here's what's going on here. So I'm open to ideas on that. I'd be glad to meet with you on that and flesh that out some more.
Just to follow up on what you said, so I fully understand. You said as I had alluded to, and I just wanted to see if you were confirming what I had said, is that in the past they had hired off-duty Cheltenham Township police officers, but they're not doing that any longer.
And
It's
so not a regular basis. It's usually a special incident or something along those lines when they were hiring them. But it's not a regular detail on a regular basis.
And who are they? Do they have anyone security there on a regular basis?
They have private security.
They have private security.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. Okay. Yeah. I mean, and I just assumed if we had a property in the township that was constantly calling for police protection, that there would be some sort of a nuisance, be identified as a nuisance property or something like that. But perhaps maybe I'm wrong on that. I just thought there was some greater action we could take to hold them accountable for what happens there.
So Chief, can I kind of tag on to that? With them having their own private security, that's not decreasing your calls by them having private security there. Is that,
no?
Am I right? Okay.
I can't. Well, I don't know what they're preventing. I can't say for sure what they're preventing, but no,
we're
we're still seeing a high volume number of calls.
Calls.
Wawa across the board, not only here in our community. We all, other Wawas, other departments I speak to, they keep them busy as well. It's just the sheer volume they have at a lot of these locations that keep other departments busy as well.
Right. So it's okay. Who was first? I think it was Commissioner Arman. Then we'll go Commissioner Stein, and then Commissioner Nars.
Okay, I think Commissioner Stein was before me, but
okay.
So Chief, yeah, we just talked about this today.
Yeah.
I mean, it's a form of corporate welfare, right? The company is lax on its own internal security, and the township's paying for it. So I wonder if we can ask Chief. Obviously, you have a relationship with Wawa, probably at the store level, and perhaps even higher than that. I think we should ask them to come in to a public safety meeting, and we could talk about what our concerns are, and find out from them what steps they have taken and what additional steps they're willing to take in order to address the issue that we've been talking about for several years, and don't see any relief in sight. So, Chief, if you would perhaps liaise with the manager to see if we can have them come into a meeting next month, that I think maybe that's a step in the right direction where we can sort of air some of these things out.
That's a great idea.
I'll absolutely reach out to them. Yep.
Fantastic.
Thank you.
Commissioner Stein. Thank you, Commissioner Arman.
I was just going to suggest that maybe we explore what our ordinance options are with this. If crimes are being committed, I don't think we can choose not to go, but it's possible we can require some level of extra effort on their part. And if they're not doing that, then maybe we can impose something. But I guess that's a question for the solicitor to take a look at, if our ordinance could be beefed up in that area.
Thank you. Commissioner Norris.
Thank you. My question is, does anyone know, do we currently have a pilot with them?
Well, they pay taxes, right?
Well, they pay taxes.
They pay taxes.
Oh, that's
They're not a
thank you.
nonprofit.
Yeah.
Maybe we do ask them for a pilot. Maybe they can pay for an extra police officer. Can we get them to pony up?
Okay,
so
sounds like a good idea. Let's pursue that.
when they first moved into the township, or maybe I'm thinking of the one in Easton, they were agreeable at that time for paying for some township program. We asked them to sponsor or something like that.
I think that was Eastern.
It was Easton Road.
Eastern Road. Yeah.
All right.
Any other
But
questions?
it doesn't mean that they wouldn't. So I think that's a good question for when they come before us.
Right.
Thank you, Chief. Appreciate you.
Absolutely.
Chief.
Thank you, sir.
Any other questions from commissioners? Do we want to open it up now to see if there's any questions from the public in reference to item 1A? Not seeing any. Mr. President, I call for a vote on item 1A.
All those in favor say aye.
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 Thank you. Thank you, Chief.
Yes, sir.
We're going to move on to item 1B, Fire Marshal's report for December 2025. I see our Fire Marshal, Mr. Lynch.
Mr. Lynch.
Good evening, everyone. Any questions on my submitted report?
Any questions at all? No questions from commissioners?
Mr. Chairperson, I'd like to add
Yes,
something if I can.
absolutely.
So mainly for the public who may not have been at the Building and Codes meeting last week, I'm also the Director of Building and Codes. And we've been tracking down and receiving quite a few complaints of the sidewalks not being shoveled. Between reported concerns in our OpenGov system, emails, phone calls, probably close to about 400 since the storm ended. Okay. We've had the Building and Codes Department in the Fire Marshal's office. We've investigated each and every complaint. We found some additional ones while we were out. And violations have been issued. We are still receiving complaints today. So we issued additional violations today. Since the storm, the violations that were issued, we've been trying to follow up. If we've found that they were, people shoveled their sidewalk, we closed the complaint out. But if not, if it wasn't done, we're working with the courts and we're issuing citations to those residents because it's definitely a safety issue. So we're out. We've been in all the different neighborhoods the best we can, and we're doing everything we can with that. Just to remind everybody, our snow removal ordinance, 24 hours after the storm ends, you're supposed to have your sidewalk clear at a minimum of a 24-inch passageway. So again, we're doing everything we can, and we have received complaints from residents that they shoveled and then the plows came by and plowed them back in. And unfortunately, that happens, and it's still your responsibility to clear the sidewalk a second and third time if have to. So.
Thank you, Mr. Lynch. Commissioner Armin.
Yeah, thank you, Mr. Lynch. Just a point of clarification. So if we have a property that's been cited and they don't respond to the citation or even the warning, and they continually refuse. And obviously it's an anomaly because this snowstorm, the snow's lasting for a really long time, right? But they are continually refusing to comply. Are they getting repeated citations? And hopefully the answer is yes.
So the answer is yes. We've talked to both judges that serve our township, and we're turning one citation a week in to their office with multiple dates on it.
Fine.
So instead of a citation every day and really bogging the system down, we've worked it out with the judge that, it'll be one a week and it'll just have all the dates listed on that citation from the previous citation followed. Now,
so that particular property owner is not getting a week reprieve. They're getting multiple citations. It's just getting submitted to the court in a weekly basis.
Yes, that's correct.
Okay, good.
That's
Thank
correct.
you. That answers my question.
Thank you. Any other commissioner questions or concerns? All right. Any residents' comments in reference to item 1B? Don't see any. Mr. President, I call for a vote on item 1B for tonight.
All in favor of receiving the Fire Marshal report for December 2025, say aye.
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 All right. Thank you. Thank you, Mr. Lynch. We're going to move on to Emergency Medical Service Chief, report for January of 2026. Ms. Bartotes, I see you here. Good evening.
Good evening, everyone.
Good evening.
Does anybody have any questions on my submitted report?
Any questions at all? No questions
Okay.
at all. Jeff, any comments?
I just want to address, so our billing company, the outsourced or contracted with someone to do memberships. That company closed this year. They decided that they were going to take over doing them. And they got them out late, and they did not realize the amount of influx that they were going to get. So they were behind on processing them. I did call them and have some stern conversations about the displeasure that I was experiencing from their performance. And they immediately jumped on our memberships and completed and got themselves caught up. So far for our 2026 membership, we have collected 68,000 as of the end of January, $68,364.11 of the, I believe it's $70,000 budget. So I realized that whenever people were looking at the numbers in November, and we're not there yet as far as the financial reports. So I didn't want everybody, thinking that we were not doing what we were supposed to do or dropping the ball. I wanted everybody to be aware that, yes, there were problems. I had many conversations with them, and they have assured me that this will not happen again. And we are on target for our collection numbers.
Good.
Fantastic.
Thank you.
Thank
Okay.
you. Thank you. Did that bring any additional questions from the board? No? Any questions from residents? If not, Mr. President, I call for a vote for item 1C.
All those in favor of accepting Chief Barto's emergency medical services report for January 2026, say aye.
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 Thanks, Chief.
Thank you. We're going to move to the Emergency Management Coordinator's report for January 2026. Mr. Hillendall.
Good evening, all.
Good evening.
I have one comment that I think everybody needs to hear, and that is that the cooperation during the storm was incredible amongst all departments.
Mhm.
Public Works, outstanding job. I got to spend time with them. They sent a plow on every ambulance call, every fire call, including when the township was covered by another ambulance, and just great work. And I've been around for a lot of storms. The storm wasn't horrible. The aftermath was terrible, as everybody knows. And those guys, I got to go home to sleep. They worked 35 plus hours and did a fantastic job. Every firehouse was manned. We knew from Jess that the ambulances were manned, and it went really well. So I just want to make sure everyone knew that.
Thank you.
Thank you. And thank those departments for doing that. They did an excellent job. They absolutely did.
Great team effort.
They did. Any questions for commissioners on item 1D from Ken? Yes, Commissioner Jeremy Walls.
And I just wanted to say, as a newbie to this process, I appreciate, I've certainly extended my appreciation to everyone else, Public Works, everyone that worked through that storm. But as it relates to you, I felt incredibly supported. You went out of your way to call to make sure that I was up to speed and didn't have any questions. Emily Stein is nodding as well. It was an absolute pleasure being brought up to speed and going through that process. So I just wanted to thank you for that. And I look forward to working with you.
Thank you.
Good job. Any other questions or comments from commissioners? Any questions or comments from residents? Don't see any hands up. All right, Mr. President, I call for the approval of item 1D for tonight.
Despite the fact that I did not get a personal call from Ken Hellendahl, I will move for approval of the emergency management coordinator's
Yeah,
report.
but your phone wasn't working where you were.
I got
That's
one
true.
too.
You
That
guys,
is,
yeah,
I forgot about that. That's yeah,
That's true.
that's true. Thank you, John.
All in favor, say aye.
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 thank you. Item 2 for tonight, any old business for public safety? Chief.
Yes, Commissioner. I just wanted to mention we had our entry-level test on Saturday, the 31st. We had to scramble a little bit due to the weather and the storm. We moved we do a physical agility and the written test all on the same day. We reached out to one of our partners in our community, South University, who stepped up and offered their indoor facility in the classroom to take the test. So I wanted to have an option due to the weather, and they stepped right in. I just want to let everybody know that went off without a hitch. We had 135 candidates sign up for our test.
Wow.
We had approximately 78 show up that day of the test of the written test, and we're in the process right now of interviewing candidates for hire. So stay tuned on that. A lot of work went into that. So we'll see how we make out with our list on this, and hopefully we'll be introducing you to some really good people soon.
Thank you. Great job, Chief. Great job. Any other old business? Okay. Any new business for public safety? Yeah. And citizens forum for public safety? Don't see any hands. Going to call for the adjournment at 8 p.m. For the public safety meeting for tonight.
All those in favor, say aye.
Aye.